Let us run Kruskal algorithm for one more example. So we need to find an edge of least weight. So let us pick AF, and in the next iteration we have to pick the next least. So let us pick FB, and the condition is inclusion of FB should not create a cycle, and the next edge is AB, but if we include AB it creates a cycle, so we skip and then go to the next one. And all three are 2, we can choose any one. Let's choose FC, and next if I choose FE, then if we choose BC it creates a cycle, so we skip and go to the next one. And if I choose EC it creates a cycle, so we skip and go to the next one. So let me pick say ED, whose weight is 3. So what we do is the following: sort the edges in increasing order and start picking edges of least weight, second least weight, and so on, with the condition that inclusion should not create a cycle. So this is our greedy choice or local optimum. Choose an edge of least weight and choose the next edge of least weight such that its inclusion does not create a cycle. At each time, with the available edge set or available edges, what we pick is an edge of least weight whose inclusion does not create a cycle. That is our greedy choice. And intuitively we think at each time if we pick an edge of least weight, and at the end we will hit the global optimum. And when do we stop our algorithm? When we include n-1 edges. You see that there are 6 vertices. After inclusion of 5 edges, we stop our algorithm. And the weight of this one is 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. So the weight of this spanning tree is 9. For the same example, you can also consider A, say B, and then F, and then you can also consider BC, and you can consider CE of weight 3, and anything else? Not this. This will not give us minimum spanning tree. FE of weight 2, and then CD of weight 3. Now the weight of this one is also 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. This spanning tree is different from this spanning tree. For example, the edge AB is present here, whereas the edge AB is not. So for a given graph, MST is not unique. We may find more than one spanning tree of same weight. For example, in this case, weight of T prime is 9, which is same as weight of T. So for a spanning tree, for a given connected and edge-weighted graph, we may find more than one spanning tree. Kruskal algorithm follows this strategy and outputs 1. Okay. Now there are other interesting questions. How many different minimum spanning trees are possible for a given connected edge-weighted graph? And what is the graph for which minimum weight spanning tree is unique? So questions like that one can ask. Consider this spanning tree, consider this edge-weighted graph. Let's assume all edge weights are say 2, 2, 2. Okay. So we see that one spanning tree is A, B, C and D. All of them are 2. And another spanning tree is we can have BA, BD and BC. So like that one can start listing all spanning trees. Like this one can list 16 different minimum spanning trees. And all of them are different, and for all of them edge weight is same, because the edge weights are same 2, 2 everywhere. So there are 16 different spanning trees for this graph, but there are graphs for which minimum spanning tree is unique. For example, so let's assume the weight of this one is 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and this one is 6. Let's assume the labels are A, B, C, D. Now if you apply Kruskal algorithm, it picks AB, then it picks BC, then it picks CD, 1, 2, 3. And 4 vertices, we have included 3 edges, we stop our algorithm. So for this graph, we have exactly 1 MST. So if all edge weights are distinct, in this there is no repetition. You see that exactly 1 MST. And in this case, all edge weights are same. We see that we have maximum number of spanning trees possible. So there are graphs where we have exactly 1 MST, and there are graphs where we have maximum number of spanning trees. And here is a small example. In this itself, we could see 1 MST with this weight function, and 16 different spanning trees, MSTs, with this weight function. Okay. And if you look at this graph, say something like this. Now, even this one, not all weights are same, there are duplications. And things like this, we saw that there are more than 1 spanning tree possible. In particular, there are more than 1 minimum spanning tree possible. And this one, all edge weights are distinct, all edge weights are same. In this, some of them are repeated. For example, 1 is repeated, 2 is repeated couple of times, 3 is repeated couple of times. In this also, we find more than 1 spanning tree. And one can generalize this. One can generalize this and come up with a bound on maximum number of spanning trees possible. Fine. And in fact, there is an interesting formula that says the maximum number of spanning trees it's all labeled A, B, C, D and so on. So let me call it as labeled spanning trees. Okay. So the maximum number of spanning trees on n vertices is n to the power n minus 2. There are graphs for which it is tight. For example, this graph it is tight 4 to the power 4 minus 2, which is 4 square, which is 16. We have 16 different spanning trees. So for a connected graph and which is labeled and there are weights associated with that, maximum number of labeled spanning trees on n vertices is n to the power n minus 2. This number is right. Here is a graph for which the number is precisely n to the power n minus 2. So having given Kruskal's algorithm and couple of insights about that, let us look at the time complexity of this. So we sort the edges. So for a graph on n vertices and m edges, this is cardinality of V of g, number of vertices. This is cardinality of V of g, number of edges. We sort the edge set. If the array size is n, then if you employ merge sort or heap sort, and time complexity in the worst case is n log n. Now the size of the set is m, so the time complexity of this is order m log m. If it is n, it is n log n. In this case it is m, so it is m log m. So cycle testing, this one is an application of DFS or BFS. Let's assume we test using DFS, and we know that cycle testing can be done in order of n plus m time. M represents the number of edges. Please note we stop our algorithm after including n minus 1 edges. So which means in this case we will not exceed n minus 1. So it is order n. It's a loose analysis. So we may run this how many times? N minus 1 iterations. So which means something like n minus 1 into order n. Cycle testing algorithm, we run at each iteration something like n minus 1 iterations into order n. It's a loose analysis, so we may not get order n each time, but still. And so n minus 1 into order n. That's all. So overall time complexity is order of m log m plus order of say n square. So now this one dominates, and if you look at this algorithm, number of edges is order of n square. M is order of n square, and then this becomes order of n square log n square plus order of n square, and this one is order n square log n. So log n square is 2 log n, then that becomes constant. So this one, if you rewrite, it becomes 2 n square log n. So that becomes n square log n. N square log n, n square. The growth of n square log n is much faster than n square. So which means overall time complexity is order n square log n. So either we say m log m if m is order of n square, or you can simplify and say it is n square log n. Fine. So we see that sorting takes order m log n effort. Cycle testing is an application of DFS which takes order n, that we run for n minus 1 iterations. So complexity of this is order n square, and m log m plus order n square. M is order of n square. So on simplification we get order n square log n. Fine. So it's a polynomial time algorithm, polynomial in the input size n, and finds minimum spanning tree. And most important thing is it exists. For a given connected edge weighted graph, minimum spanning tree exists, and this algorithm gives 1. If you look at the invariant maintained by this algorithm, so at each time we ensure when we add an edge, it does not create a cycle. That's all we ensure. So invariant maintained by Kruskal is acyclicity, and we don't check connectedness. The definition says what we ask for is a spanning tree. In particular, it is a tree, so which means it must be connected and acyclic. And are we checking connectedness when we stop the algorithm? No, we don't. So that's the beauty. So we only ensure acyclicity is preserved after each iteration. Interestingly, acyclicity plus n minus 1 edges, because we stop our algorithm after including n minus 1 edges, implies connectedness. Meaning connectedness comes for free. We don't need to explicitly check whether the resulting graph is connected. So acyclicity plus n minus 1 edges gives connectedness for free, which means when we stop our algorithm, what we get is a tree, and because we include n vertices, it becomes a spanning tree as well. So invariant maintained by Kruskal algorithm after each iteration is acyclicity. So inclusion of an edge from this does not create a cycle, and that we keep checking iteration after iteration and stop the algorithm after n minus 1 iterations. So we precisely include n minus 1 edges satisfying this property, and which means these two gives connectedness. Therefore we conclude what we have is a spanning tree. That's the crux. So one has to identify the invariant maintained by greedy algorithm, and the invariant maintained by greedy algorithm along with other structural properties used by the algorithm might give you some interesting observations or inferences which one has to observe. So having discussed Kruskal and then insights about this, we shall next discuss Prim's algorithm.